Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Scenes. Today you'll learn how we make fresh sausages. Each week we make 3 different flavours, and here I'll show you how to make chipolatas. So we've got, in the chipolata today that we're making, we've got pepper. Here we have some nice cockswolds I prepared earlier. 150. No. See, if you notice I'm doing this left-handed because I'm quite ambidextrous. So all the spices that I use come from Ecoland. Ecoland has an agreement with all different farmers from around the world, and they help them get their spices up to organic standards. Then they buy their whole crop from them at 1.5 times the world market value. Then we need to get some sage. Cracked pepper, black pepper, white pepper, sage. Black pepper, thyme. Thyme, sage, ground black pepper, ground white pepper, cracked black pepper. And then we also put a little bit of molasses sugar in it. Okay, chipolatas. So now we're going to go and trim some meat up. Come with me. So here we've got some lovely pork bellies from Besh that we're going to trim up and use for sausage making. So these come like this from our supplier, Gemeinschaft Schwäbisch Hall. Already have the skin removed, a bit of the fat removed, the ribs removed, but then we just have to trim up a little bit more of the other stuff. So if there's any little bits of bone in there, we don't want those in our sausages. Move this muscle here so we can get to this vein underneath, because we don't want that vein in there. So yeah, with the sausage making, we always use pork belly for fresh sausages, just because it has a nicer flavour and the fat's nicer. Traditionally, butchers use a mixture of pork, belly and shoulder, but yeah, like I say, we just use belly because it's yummy. And that is ready to roll. Just cut into strips, so it'll go through the mincer. So now we're weighing the meat that we just cut up. So we're going to make a 10 kilo batch. Perfect. Let's go and mince it. So now we're going to put the mincer together. First we put the kidney plate, then the cutting blade, and this is the 5mm cutting plate. And we put a couple of sleeves in to make sure that it's all nice and tight in there. And then we mince that back into there. There we go, 10 kilos of pork mince. Next we go into the cutter, which we just used for mixing. So this is what we use to emulsify things, but when we're making fresh sausages, we only use it on the mixing function. Then we just start mixing that. We get all our chipolata spices, and then in they go. Salt, pepper, sage, thyme, and a little bit of molasses sugar, which we need to dilute in water so that it'll separate out. So then basically what we're doing is we're adding the salt as a preservative to the sausages, and so basically salt goes in and replaces the water. So what we want to do is we want to mix it until it gets a bit sticky, so then the water is then replaced with salt. Less water means less water activity, which means less bacteria. So the way we can test the stickiness is roll it into a ball and just stick it to our hands, and if it sticks for 10 seconds, then it's ready to fill into sausages. And then, as always, we have to do a wee taste test to make sure that the salt and the spice mix is correct. And then, of course, wash our hands. Mmm! Delicious. And yeah, all the meat that we use is fresh, so it's okay to eat it raw. Germans eat raw meat all the time. They put it on bread, Mettwurst, Hackepeter, because there's no trichinosis in the meat. In Germany, it's been eradicated, so trichinosis is the only risk. Ready to roll. I'm going to roll this into a ball now, put it into our case. So yeah, this is the vacuum filler. This is what we use for filling all the sausages. So it has a vacuum pump in the bottom and it basically sucks the meat through into this chamber and then pushes it out into skins. Here we are back again. Here's the sausage meat, it's going in here. So, big part of the job, cleanliness. This is the washing machine. So, that goes in there. So 30-32 skins, so 30 to 32 millimetre diameter. So with these, they come all ready to use. We just need to rinse the salt off them. So these are a nice durable skin. They're from pork, pigs, pork skins, pigs, pork. Let's make some sausages. First we get the skin, take it out, find the end of it, put a bit of water in there, and put it on the tulla. I don't actually know the word in English, so we'll just call it a tulla. Get to the ends, put a knot in it, bring that across, and then the sausage is born. Then we just cut them. So we've got a little bit left on each end, so all the meat doesn't come flying out of your sausage. So that they're individuals, because every sausage is an individual. So yeah, the fresh sausages, they have a 3-day shelf life from when they've been made. So you can use them within 3 days, or you can freeze them if you need to, because they've been made from fresh meat. On average, we do about 1,000 fresh sausages per week. Again, now we're going to pack some sausages into trays. So we get the sausages and we put them in the tray like this. Very exciting stuff. And then we get the old machine here, put a bit of wrap around them, fold that like that. And then we get a sticker. There we have it. So now we're going to label some sausages. There we go. The best way to cook fresh sausages is on a barbecue. You can also cook them in a frying pan on a medium heat, because if you overcook them, you'll lose all the liquid out of them, all the fat and the goodness, because they don't have any filler in them. Medium heat for about 10 minutes, just turning every now and then. After you've finished cooking them, you want to let them rest for at least 3 minutes, just so all the juice goes back into the meat, just like when you're cooking a steak. Delicious. Thanks for joining me. Have a nice day, and see you soon.